This is, again, the channel of power, part of integration, and it's about self-empowerment. So the 3457, this channel of power, is a design of an archetype. Gate 34, the gate of power, is the power of the great. And then we have the gentle, like the penetrating breeze that chills you to the bone. We have the gate of intuitive insight, the gentle penetrating breeze. That's how I remember it, as far as where it is and what it be. So when we look at this channel of power, which is a design of an archetype of being a generator, pure power in response, empowered by one's intuitive awareness in the now. This is not a circuit. The keynote is self-empowerment. The time is now. The sense is hearing, right ear. And this brings us the energy to generate. 3457s have immense power in response. As the design of an archetype, these gate activations are in the quarter of the wheel, which is about purpose fulfilled through bonding, duality, purpose fulfilled through bonding, 57, and 34 is in the mutation and transformation quarter. So mutation of one's intuitive awareness, leading to health, safety, security in the body. It is a generated type. That means when acting from not self, it carries the frequency of frustration. It marries the intuitive insight, this gentle penetrating awareness, which gives us the possibility to express the awareness of struggling for clarity, because clarity can be a struggle to hear, because this is the right ear. It's the still, quiet voice that speaks to the nature of what's to be or what's to come. There is an awareness possibility here because it's the right ear. It's the existential here. It hears truth now. It may not know exactly what you're lying about, but it hears whether you're lying or not. Call this the bullshit detector. You got a bullshit detector when you hire somebody who is listening for truth and you can hear the frequency of their voice. They don't believe what they're saying. They're lying. Don't know what they're lying about, but I know they're lying. Okay? Now, this power of the great, the gate of power, brings this fuel because it's a possibility, not a guarantee. It has to come through response. Self-empowerment, which is about self-empowerment for the self, no one else. The power for the self brings us independence. This is an independent being. This is the energy, the 34, to individuate or not. Now, if we link the 34, we are going to talk about it so much more because it is going to go into 1, 2, 3 channels in this particular class today. But think about this energy to individuate or not, and link that to what's going on in the future. Yeah, as far as the 2027 background shift. Guess what? It's happening now. Have you seen how many more freaky deaky, weird, wacky, wonderful individuals there are here on the planet? Yeah, tons. The 34 is a gate that does not have any connection to female or male. It is absolutely asexual. Asexual. It's asexual. It doesn't have to be male nor female. So of course it has the energy to individuate or not. What if they go apathy? 6-line beings. Depends on what the whole totality of their design is. Okay, so as an example, this is Alan Watts' design. If you like Alan Watts, hi, so do I. This power that he has, this generative power that he brings, allows the power of his intuitive clarity to give him the ability to respond, so the response ability from moment to moment to moment to moment, to react clearly and quickly, also, because he's emotional, to wait for clarity as those continual moment by moment responses add up to an intelligent appraisal of what they are clear about, or he in particular, this one is clear about. Because he has to be, let's say, empowered by his physical body, unconscious awareness, because he has, there are no guarantees, because he has truly powerful values. This is a being who can definitely, we can hear him speaking to the nature of individuating. Would you agree? The capability of him to be sensitive to people's needs, to have this moodiness and potential for melancholy and sadness, and channeling that into being a role model of someone who knows what to do when waiting for clarity through the waves of his emotionality. So he says, this is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you're doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. Next one as an example, we have Sean Connery. Very different design indeed. By being available in the response ability, the ability to respond with emotional clarity, he is designed to be independent, sovereign, and free, empowered as his own acoustically available being that has this penetrating awareness in the now, charismatically being himself, as he is a design of an archetype of someone who is designed to mate or bond with what is different when called through the friendship, to be able to have his empowered emoting either through the happy, sad expression, the moodiness, the melancholy, through cycles of one's life's experience. So what he says is that James Bond's qualities of self-containment, his powers of decision, his ability to carry on through till the end and to survive. I like to think I acquired them before Bond. Yeah, I would say so. It's part of his unconscious genetic potential to be able to struggle and fight for a life that's worth living beyond just survival. He is an inspiring example of what it is to be vital and physically alive, moment by moment through response with emotional clarity. Now, because he has this 3828, again, remember, it's not just about himself. He also has tribal, so it's also about others, his friends, his network, the people who charismatically allow him to be himself. The moody bastard, my mind might say. Depends. I do not know him personally. No guarantee. Okay, channel of perfected form is the next one we'll dive into. This is again part of integration, self-empowerment as part of the group of integration. And it brings this perfected form, which is a design of survival, 1057, the 10 being treading, gate of behavior, the behavior of the self, the 57 being the gentle, the gate of intuitive insight. This intuitive insight that is so powerful relative to its awareness principle, not power from the motors that we see, but power of individuality and awareness of truth, of being self for truth. It is about the perfected form. So not just the bonding and duality, but also the mutation, the individuation process that is incredibly transformational. So when we look at the channel of perfected form, we are looking at, again, an integration aspect of the integration channel. The circuit, none. The time is always now within integration. The sense here is hearing, the right ear. And we're looking at the keynote of self-empowerment, bringing in awareness possibility, the perfected form, again, design of survival, which is the creative channel. All of the channel groups have one channel that speaks to the nature of the expressiveness of the creativity of whatever group it happens to be that we're within. So this is the one for today, the creative channel integration, the art of survival, perfecting the art of survival. So this, archetypally speaking, can be about not just your body, but also the physical places that you be. So it can be an architect. You can design life processes. Part of the work as a human design analyst is helping people sculpt their future or perfect the, let's say, form of their life or their business. So you could be an interior designer. There's all kinds of things that this can show up like, but it tends to be that they are very picky, as in specifically wanting certain things from their environment. The gate 10, treading, which is the behavior of the self, and it's part of the connective field to the magnetic monopole. This is the lip of the vessel of love. Okay, we have the love gates. This is where love pours out. It's the nature of the self, the love of living, in other words, the Li to be able to love oneself. The intuitive insight, the gentle, this possibility of awareness to struggle for clarity or not, brings this awareness possibility of the future and the existential, again, right ear. So treading in the quarter 4, mutation and transformation, intuitive insight, quarter 3, duality, which is about bonding. When we look at some examples here, we'll see Marie Kondo. If you know of her, she is somebody who is about cleaning their spaces. So she's of fame for looking around at your environment. And if you pick something up and you absolutely don't love it, then you get rid of it. Very simple. Now, she says it's a very strange phenomenon, but when we reduce what we own and essentially detox our house, it has a detox effect on our bodies as well. She brings the intuitive love of self by being a deeply intuitive being. She, you can see, is a manifester relative to her own inner process of knowing, being able to stand as a role model that's inspiring, by the initiation needing to be first in order to perfect the form, with her wavelength of talent when it comes to organizing things, making things more beautiful. So we look at this being who has the ability to inform in order to put into action some new way of perfecting the form, which not just is your body, but also the places that you be. So thinking on your feet, being able to have creativity when it comes to designing spaces, creating and designing environments where survival is more likely to be a guarantee because it provides protection from the fear of tomorrow. When we are non-sacral, it's very easy to get overwhelmed by the generative energy frequency field. The busy, 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 the do it all and do it now quite quickly. So for her to have found her perfected form in establishing her authority, the form for survival, yeah, the detox effect on the body, to have 2 creative channels, quite beautiful. Wonderful indeed. So next we have as an example, Leonard Cohen. Here we see this being who is again manifested, and we have sensitivity, okay, the channel of synthesis, a design of being sensitive, as well as the channel that is about the jack of all trades, being transitoriness, channel of transitoriness, jack of all trades. Marry that with the perfected form, and we see a split. We see a powerful emotional manifester who is here to role model what it is to be the perfected version of himself. We can see he says, act the way you'd like to be, and soon you'll be the way you act. That's a beautiful quote. We're seeing somebody who has the potential to perfect all kinds of forms of things. Remember, it was part of the design of plants? So it's like yourself, your art, your music, song, dance, not just the interior design. It could be food, beautiful food, perfected form of food, gardening, architecture, whatever it happens to be, anything that comes to your realm, including your own behavior. Many different projectors who are interested in behavior we find in human design. So these are people who are designed to love the creations that they create, might be their body, in simply living truth, in truth, to being oneself. This is somebody who is designed to be healthy, safe, secure in their own identity. And you see the partnership that he is designed for, to initiate someone into the relationship, the relational dynamic that is part of his life's purpose fulfillment. Transpersonal karmic fulfillment as a 6-2. Okay. We have, let's talk about awakening. Nothing like some self-empowerment and awakening, truly. It is combining this integration group self-empowerment channel of awakening, design of a commitment to higher principles, the gate 10, treading, behavior of the self, and the 20, contemplation, gate of the now. You can see they are within the quarter of the wheel, purpose fulfilled through civilization, purpose fulfilled through form, and mutation, purpose fulfilled through transformation. So the mutation of the form, or the transformation of civilization, however you want to language that. So we're looking at this integration channel, which is not part of a circuit group. It is the keynote of self-empowerment that you use, and the channel itself is projected. The voice says, I am now, and it's either going to be decisive or indecisive. The time is here and now. The sense is still about hearing, and it's about the expression of the awakening to the commitment to higher principles. Now listen close, it says commitment. It doesn't say follow through. There's no power here as far as the energy. So it might pay really good lip service, but is it truly awakened? Nothing to do but wait and see. Awakening is a pulse of off on, quite interesting to see as well. The gate 20, contemplation in the now, with the expression of the mechanical manifestation of clarity, or not. I know I am now. Now, here it's talking about the behavior of the now. The gate 20 brings the intuitive manifestation of now. So when we've combined contemplation, the now, with treading, the behavior of the self, what we get is a function of the magnetic monopole through the lip of the vessel of love, which brings the nature of self and the love of living, the Li. Again, treading. Here we look at it in the quarter of mutation, purpose fulfilled through transformation, and the 20, the now, civilization. This is form principle. Okay. So when we take a look at Queen Latifah, we have the channel of awakening, higher principles. And what she says is, when I was around 18, I looked in the mirror and said, you're either going to love yourself or you're going to hate yourself. And I decided to love myself. That changed a lot of things. So here we see someone who has the potential to express the love of self, her power in the now, being charismatic, doing what she loves, centering within on her higher convictions, exploration, okay, exploration. And the principle of her being tribal means that she's here to be a custodian, to respond to preserving and protecting the tribe. Notice how she's got a 28, no 57. So because she's tribal, she has almost all of integration. This is not a being, and a 6-2, this is not a being who's going to be all about self, self, self all the time. She also is going to be about responding to others, being in the expressive truth of who she is for herself. And when you are true to yourself, you set an example that can be inspirational to others around you, to their own behaviors or their own truths. And that's quite nice to see. Isn't that beautiful? I do love her design. 6-2, transpersonal. And here's another one. We have Glenn Close, and she is a channel of awakening, commitment to higher principles as well. This one, we have power behind it, just like Queen Latifah. Here we say, regarding reactions to the film Albert Nobbs, where she plays a trans man, Glenn Close stated, quote, "Some people will change their point of view, and those who are either too old or too blinkered to accept the beauty of difference will just have to die off." And there we see the nodal environment as part of the empowerment of the being here. This is someone who has a need for self-integrity, self in integrity or authenticity. Because we have the channel of rhythm, a design of being in the flow, and also witness, prodigal design of a witness, we're looking at somebody who is not only individually designed, but also collectively as part of her design, being able to be empowered as oneself. So the voice of individual leadership, the 20, is absolutely here to speak for the recognition or the requirement of everybody to be their own authority, their own leader, like Ra. There is no guarantee, but Ra absolutely would speak to the nature of everyone having a right to being their own authority, simply by being themselves. Be yourself to love yourself. And these are beings who speak on behalf of everyone being themselves, being unique. These are people who are more likely to want to be around others who have the same kind of authenticity or sensitivity to self-truth, the behavior that is backed by power in the commitment to the individual principles of what it is to be sovereign and free. Yeah, freedom of action and response. That is what this design is here to be. 1-3, vessel of love. Okay, last channel, we have the channel of charisma, part of the integration group. This is about self-empowerment. The channel of charisma is a design where thoughts must follow or become deeds. The 34, gate of power, the power of the great, and the 20, contemplation, the gate of the now, meeting together, exactly polar opposite in the wheel. So then what you see from this is that these are common, quite common. There are 3 channels that do this in the body graph, where the opposition in the body graph creates a channel. That means every Sun-Earth opposition, twice a year, for a week almost, every nodal configuration, not to mention, so every 16 and something years, almost 17. Not to mention all the planets that could also be there. The 20, again, is in the quarter of the wheel that is civilization, purpose fulfilled through form. 34 is mutation, purpose fulfilled through transformation. So the transformational power of contemplating one's now, you could say, or the capability in response to be available and empowered in the now, to be busy, to be charismatic, like a missile without a guidance system. Because it says where thoughts must follow deeds, what do we recall? Not to mention that this was part of the brainwave before we had thoughts. But now in our modern day and age, we also, thanks to the mutation of the 7-centered humanity into a body graph that had a head and ajna construct, the awareness principle of self-reflected consciousness, the 2343 very closely is next to this body graph mechanic of the channel of charisma. So the very fact that just 1 week later or earlier, we have a projector channel. This is archetypally speaking, that channel of structuring that we'll look at on Thursday. Channel of structuring, a design of individuality, is the natural guide for someone who has the channel of charisma because they are projected in nature. Now, when you have your own channel of structuring in your own design, that means then you have a very strong mind. It still means that you have to wait for the response, but you're less of a chaotic manifester in response because you're a manifesting generator. In response means to generate, to wait for the response, the ability to respond. So what can this being do? Can respond. If you're trying to articulate anything that has to do with a generator, can wait for the response. Okay, wait for the response in order to be charismatic and busy in the now. It's their very busyness that creates the aura of being charismatic when it comes to this being. So we're looking at this channel of charisma. It is an integration channel, not part of a circuit group. Its keynote is self-empowerment. The time is now. The sense is hearing, right ear. The channel is generated. It is a generator channel, but it has the power to manifest. That's why we call it a manifesting generator. The only pure manifesting generator channel we have. This is the original generator channel, the only pure manifesting generator channel. If you look at the software or anybody's analysis and they say, you're a manifesting generator, but they don't have this channel, then to be technically correct, they're not a manifesting generator, not a pure one anyway. They are a generator with whatever manifesting power they have where the energy reaches the throat, however that happens to be. So they're a generator with manifesting potential. This is the only pure manifesting generator channel. The gate of contemplation is the gate of the now, this expression of the mechanical manifestation of clarity, or not. I know I am now. I don't know what I am. This intuitive manifestation of now or expression of now, remember, it has this tone sensitivity because it's individual as far as its nature in its reality of the expression. It means it's about me. I am. It's the voice of I am. And there's this melancholy that is there, this longing, wistfulness, sadness about the past. I am sad. I am happy. I know I am or not. The 34, the gate of power, it's the power of the great. Its fuel possibility is for, in response, self-empowerment. It brings independence. It brings the energy to individuate or not. What is a failed mutation? Something that dies out, just like Glenn Close said earlier. They're just going to die out. Yeah. The now is in the quarter of civilization, purpose fulfilled through form. That's the 20. Across the wheel, we see the 34, power of the great in the quarter of mutation, purpose fulfilled through transformation. The biggest transformation is indeed death. Death is just a doorway. So we see he who is not busy being born is busy dying. This is Bob Dylan and his chart with his channel of charisma, a design of thoughts becoming deeds. You who have this channel as a charismatic, busy person are designed to be empowered in your response to life. With Bob Dylan, we see he's a 4-6. Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix. This is somebody who has incredible emotional, I'll say, depth, because availability in response to be incredibly powerful to generate life. This is the creative channel of the defense circuit. So it's a very powerful pull. It's one of the largest channels that we have. So he has not only a manifesting force in response with emotional clarity, and it best is experienced over time and with awareness. Now, what if you're someone like him, never came across human design? Oftentimes you find you make a fool out of yourself if you operate too quickly. Because there are no guarantees, our emotionality in a wide swing or spectrum, this is a stable installs, but he has activations that are pointing to all of the kinds of emotional waves one could have. So that means then, if you act spontaneously or move too quickly, you oftentimes make decisions on the very high highs or the very low lows. And so there is this responsibility in the ability to respond with his empowered manifestation energy in response with clarity brings him to an aligned, satisfying manifestation in response. He's at his best when he's busy doing what he loves, very creative, very powerful in his generation of energy. Has to obey his moods, otherwise, not the right attitude. This channel of charisma we also see with Bruce Lee. And here with Bruce Lee, design of being busy, 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 charismatically, wonderfully, he can be an unstoppable force. He says, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. So, individuality, as he has here, as a creative role model, inspiration, creative design of a creative role model. In response, he has the wings of the sacral, I like to call them, the entirety of the defense circuit, being both emotionally aware over time as well as logically, supportively able to care for his tribe. 6'2", what to do? He is somebody who's here to fulfill his life's purpose through cleaning up karma with old forces, familiar forces in the life. And he also has the channel of community, the design of a part seeking a whole. So 3 parts tribal, 1 part integration, and 1 part individual. And yet, when we look at the channel, as far as what is creating the incarnative purpose, we see the personality being about charisma and the body being about the tribe. So it may surprise him, surprise is a keynote you use with the unconscious, at the availability for him to be a part of this community, as far as the people that he's here to support and be supported in return, because he has answered the call as a 2, waiting to be called, answered the call to be a part of a community. Now, manifesting generators are known for skipping steps. This one is emotional, so he has to wait for clarity in order to not go too quickly. Otherwise, you have to turn back round and retrace one's steps. I imagine that happened a lot in his early 30s or early life before he was 30. His power is quite impressive. I imagine you would agree. When it's observed by others, didn't lots of people like to observe him as part of the process of just his receptive, flow-like water nature? Who, these beings being very attractive, the charismatic busy ones who are doing what they're passionate about, this contributes to his charismatic charisma, personal charisma, when he does what he loves. Same thing for you, because you may like doing what you love, but what happens if somebody comes in and says, no, you can't do that? I remember my little child, who's also a pure manifesting generator and also with emotional manifestation and authority. And the earliest times when she wanted to learn how to cook was always, Mommy, me do, me do, me do. You know, I want to do it by myself. I will, this man says, be in control, doing it myself, doing it my own way. Thanks, Bruce Lee, for the inspirational look into thee.